Hello and welcome to Ears for Everything, the podcast that touches on a bit of every subject, whether it be gaming, news, or current affairs. Today we are joined with Liam J. Davies.
Whoa, whoa, hey guys, it's Liam, the mailman, here to deliver you interesting facts and informative subjects.
Today it is just the two of us. I am your host, Nathaniel Sharp, also aka Yellow. Today it is just the two of us because some wankers decided not to join. Hopefully we can get another one or two people on next week. Today our topics are, I believe we're talking about the EU stealing our memes.
No, not our memes, we want them back, boy.
Yeah, yeah. And that's about all today. Just going to keep it short. It is the first episode, so we want to see what we can improve on. And so if we do a really long one, then, there's just too much to improve on. So start short, get bigger. That's how it works. Anyway, we will also be doing a game review each week, whether it be an up and coming game, a well-known game, a not well heard of game, or just a game that deserves some time in the spotlight. This week we will be doing Scum, an up and coming game that's been out for about 3 weeks now. It's a lot like DayZ, and it is quite fun in my opinion. I've been playing it for a few hours, which is kind of why we haven't started the podcast. So yeah,
It looks pretty sick, to be honest.
But first we will talk about the EU stealing our memes. Now, Liam, you've read a lot about this, so run us through exactly what the EU has
Listen,
done.
I am partially informed on this subject, okay? The amount of factual information I have stored in my brain is of an adequate quality where we can make fun of the fact that our memes will no longer be able to exist.
Yeah, it has been around the internet a little bit recently, especially PewDiePie made a big video on it. And
every YouTuber has made
pretty much
videos about
every
it.
YouTuber has made
I mean,
video on it.
Dolan Dark and Grande, the two biggest memesters on the platform, they are sworn enemies, but recently they have co-aligned together and they are helping to fight the battle of the EU taking away our memes. I mean, just God bless them.
So, just a rundown for anyone that doesn't know about it. What was it? Earlier this year, was it? July?
Yeah, the EU basically has been trying to pass Article 13, which changes a bunch of mumbo-jumbo rules about how copyright works. And just recently, this was only 2 days ago, the article passed. So...
Yeah, what was it? Yeah, September the 12th, so 3 days ago.
Yep.
It was passed. So earlier in July, it got, put knocked back because of just a few issues with it. Basically, they were going ham on everyone, and pretty much, any picture you posted, if you hadn't gotten the direct consent from the person that made it, whether it be a snippet from a movie or just a picture someone put on Tumblr or something, it was classed as a copyright violation. And so the EU, in Article 13, were saying that every website that allows the upload of photos must have an upload filter, like you may call it, basically scanning photos for copyrighted materials in the same way that YouTube does with its algorithms that check for copyrighted material. And basically, yeah, it just sort of made every single photo you've ever shared possibly illegal because you weren't allowed to share it because you hadn't messaged the creator of it and said, "Hey, can I share your photo?" And it was just a bit of a clusterfuck.
Meme culture will literally die because it would be illegal to just... I don't get it.
The normie memes would die because the normies would be scared to get, attacked by the police. But I think the more hardcore memes, especially like the Nazi memes from 9/11, all the dark memes, I think they don't give a fuck. So they would definitely continue. I doubt 4chan would be affected, although there would be legal repercussions because it is a
See, this is what I don't understand. So basically, because like the EU is basically telling companies, yeah, you need to be putting like upload filters onto it to be able to scan for illegally copied images or videos. And so if the company doesn't do that, like for example, let's take Facebook, haha, yeah, let's make a typical joke about how your dad or mom, somebody who, or yeah, they're hyped on Facebook, whatever, they, copy some shitty ass funny onto their profile. Like if Facebook doesn't basically in the time that it's like uploaded doesn't filter that out, Facebook is like eligible to be they'll have to pay a fine or whatever.
Well, basically, from my understanding, if the website operates in the European Union, which is
most companies,
I'll just check the members now.
'Cause, yeah.
It's a lot of people. We've got pretty much the whole of Europe. Is Australia part of it? No, Australia's not part of it. We're cool here.
No. It's
But
Europe,
basically
European Union.
Yeah, I wasn't sure
It's
if
not-
we'd be a part of it because I know that we're United Kingdom.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. No, it doesn't affect us, which I
Sweet,
guess is
I'm happy.
why pretty much.
Well, basically, any website, from what I can understand, any website operating in one of these European countries,
Which is like literally every website ever, because anybody from the EU can go onto a website. It's
But basically, anyone operating these countries would have to, on that version of their website, the European version of their website would have to have a filter on it, or be liable to fines. And
there are half a billion people in the EU, in the European Union, collectively, half a billion people. And half a billion people are going to be using a lot of different websites, such as your Facebook or your Twitter or your Tumblr or your Reddit or your 4chan, whatever. It doesn't matter. But all those websites, they're obviously going to get traffic from countries all over the world. Obviously, they're going to get traffic from countries that are part of the EU. This is going to affect all of us, basically, because...
Well, see... One thing is, like, it's not a bad idea to have stronger copyright protection.
Exactly, because people need to make their, like, as a creative artist myself, people need to be getting a source of income from their hard work in creating, certain type of forms of media or whatever.
Yeah.
Say it a film or a song or whatever. But I think the way they're going about it is completely redundant because...
It's just it's a real blanket. Like they've gotten this fat blanket and they've thrown it over the fire, which was like on a single stick, and they've thrown it onto this fire, and they're like, yeah, it's all good. And everyone's like, but what about all the other stuff that's under the blanket? It's just going to be smothered as well. And they're like, yeah, we fixed the fire. What do you want? What more do you want?
And it's just so redundant because there's even countries like Germany, who is a part of the EU, obviously, and I think there was another country, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Basically, the article, Article 13 that the EU has successfully already passed. It's already passed. It's not implemented yet. It won't be implemented until like 2021.
Yeah, no, there is the so it's passed, but there is one final vote.
Yes, there is
next year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Basically, because what they've been doing recently was kind of tweaking a bit of the laws, like a few of the legal mumbo jumbo in it to be more specific or whatnot. But anyway, with Germany, basically it doesn't even affect them. Like the laws they're passing in Article 13. They're already in place in the country of Germany. And so that doesn't change their copyright laws at all whatsoever.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to be making money at all. It's just going to put a strain on creativity and the creative economy.
Another thing is that some people were very concerned about the impact that it will have on the connection speed to the internet. And I know it sounds very first world problem, but if you're trying to get on Facebook and it's scanning 50 million pictures all at once, it's going to take a little while longer, or they're going to have to pay for bigger servers.
And the problem with this as well...
Not only are they going to have to pay for more servers, another problem with it is Article 11, which is a link tax. So not only are they having to pay for new technology to scan pictures, they're also having to pay more taxes, and so it's just not profitable. And I'm not all about the profits. I honestly couldn't give two flying fucks if I was rich or poor, and I am thoroughly poor. But it's just not, the businesses aren't going to like it, and smaller businesses that want to operate in those countries may just cease operating in those countries.
Very true. It even gets worse when you consider this. Obviously, big, companies like Facebook and YouTube. There's so much content, so many accounts. It's all going to have to be automated. You can't have individual people checking to make sure that it has the correct copyright. So it's there's going to be faults in the system.
Yeah.
And it may never be perfect. And people who may even have the right copyright, they've gotten permission from the original creator, like, because it's automated, it might affect them. Who cares? It might not even matter.
Yeah.
It's a broken system.
Like, I can see where they're coming from. Like, I can understand what their directive is, but the way they're going about it, and just this blanket over a stick on fire is it's just not the way to go. Like, it just doesn't work. The internet is this evolving place that is constantly changing. There's new stuff every day, and it connects us. And they're trying to put a damper on that creativity, as you said before.
Absolutely. And I mean, the joke, I guess, the meme, if you will, is that these laws will affect our memes.
Yeah.
It's the joke, but like memes won't be able to be sent over the internet as much as they currently are.
Yeah, like recently, I was watching Breaking Bad because I never actually finished it, which I just
very
stopped.
good show.
I don't know
Very
why,
very
I just
good.
stopped watching it. It is quite good. Everyone wants to be a mess cook because of it. And I would gladly be a mess cook if I could make that sort of dosh. But I was watching it, and while I was watching it, I paused it to go get something to eat, I think, or go to the toilet. Just arbitrary reasons. And when you pause a video and you just get the perfect face.
Yep, absolutely. It always works on YouTube so well.
Every single time. It's just this
so
dickhead face, but this was the best face. I'll put it on screen now, but this was honestly the best face ever pulled. It was fucking hilarious, and I was like, I need to meme this. And then I found out about the EU thing, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta meme this really quickly before my meme gets taken down. Like, before I get fined for my goddamn meme. And it put this, it wasn't, it was a bit of a joke in my head. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to get in trouble for this meme. But then I realized, no, there's some people that are out there making, doing videos on memes. Like, you've got like
Dolan Dark and Grande, as I mentioned before.
And I can't remember his name, but there was another one.
Grande.
Yeah, Behind the Meme.
Behind the meme. Yeah.
What? As much as people hate him,
as much as we hate him,
he makes his living through memes, and
I think it's true. I'm pretty sure he hasn't uploaded a video in like 8 months, though, dude.
That's because everyone hates him.
Exactly. So he's not making a living anymore, not because of memes, but because people hate him. Oh no, he came back like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, sweet, cool. Yeah.
No.
I mean, as it is, it's been a pretty dry year for memes, hasn't it? Like, what
do you mean? This has been the biggest year for memes ever. We've had such favorites.
I don't know if I'm just in the dark, but I haven't seen many decent memes this year.
We've had such quality memes as "Who Toucha My Spaghetti?"
Oh, this year?
Do you know that was this year?
So much older.
It was January. Yep. "Who Toucha My Spaghetti?" Do you know the way? That was this year.
That was really. It just feels like that was like years ago.
I know, but it was January, February this year. I know, but the Thanos snap meme, obviously that's a big one because it's a Marvel movie.
That one was good. I remember seeing one of them right before I saw the movie. And I'm like, I don't get it, and then I saw the movie and I cried. Tears welled up. And I'm like,
Really
Yeah.
good. Just recently, Thanos car. I mean, it's not a very high quality meme, but Thanos car is a meme. That's something.
We
We've
do
had.
we do also have the drift car, like going around the turn with the sign that says, the straight line's like,
Yep.
a safe
Mints.
way to work, and then the other one's like, doing a line of
Yep.
speed and then getting in the car so you can get there faster.
Yep.
Um, uh, we did have that. I
I
enjoyed that one. That one was great.
honestly, I am really enjoying the Johnny Yes Papa memes. I
Oh
know
God,
it's
yeah.
maybe not everybody finds them funny, but I mean the edits that Dolan Dark and Grande have been doing very very well.
Some of the edits I will admit I enjoyed, like the Aussie edit. Don't know if you've seen that
Yep.
one, but basically
Yeah.
he's like, I think he's like, Damo, you eating pingers. And being a pinger eater myself, I really fucking loved it because his response was, "What cunt?" And I'm like, ah, that's exactly what I'd say. Like, it's just so
Mhm.
fucking true.
Mhm.
Um, I did enjoy that one, and that's about the only edit I found on that one that I actually
Yep.
enjoyed.
Freaking the Smash meme. That is a beautiful meme. If I'm being completely honest, the Smash memes.
Oh, the Smash
The
memes were good.
everybody joins the battle.
Like at first, I didn't understand it because I didn't know what the fuck they were talking about. I was like, I know
Oh
this from
god.
somewhere, and then I
Yeah.
realized, oh, it's the Smash thing because there's a
It's
new
from
Smash
every
thing coming out.
Smash game.
Like
Yeah.
I was very hidden in the dark for a decent amount of this year because fucking gay ass mental issues. So I just hid from everyone, um, and so I missed out on a fair bit. And then that's when the Smash meme came out, and then I came out of my shell and moved up to Sydney,
Mhm.
and Smash
Which I
memes
so
everywhere.
great I so graciously let you into my humble abode.
Yeah, who owns the lease? Me? Who owns the
Listen, it was a
lease?
collective agreement. All three of us agreed that we would allow you to enter our home.
Yeah, as long as I didn't bring drugs.
Yeah, exactly. I
You
mean, I think
think
that's a pretty
some
fair
filthy
deal.
drugger? Like
Well, partially. You
a
have been
little,
in the
a
past,
little,
a
a little.
little. Ali A intro. I mean, honestly, we
Oh, the
always make fun of
Allier
it, but
intro.
it's a good
Yeah,
meme.
yeah.
It's a good meme.
It did reach peak this year. Like the GameCube Allier intro.
Oh, the
That one was
GameCube. That's
good.
another meme.
Yeah, was the GameCube
Um,
this year?
yeah, well, it might have been. Well, listen, I mean, even if it was
So
last year,
yeah,
a lot of memes have reached
yeah.
popularity this year.
Some memes like come out like
Yep.
a little like a few years ago,
Okay,
and
you
then
know what has
get
been a really good
now.
meme that was definitely this year? KSI versus Logan Paul memes, top notch. I watched the
Oh
fight
dear.
live. I enjoyed it, even if it was a draw. I don't care. The fight was very entertaining to watch,
Yeah,
honestly.
I fell asleep. Like I think
Oh
I fell asleep during the Deji match, and
god.
then woke up like with like what was it? There were three, no, 5 rounds in,
I
and
think we were yelling because it was a
yeah,
draw.
they were
Yeah.
yelling, and I was asleep, and I woke up, and I'm like, what's happening? You guys are like, it's a fucking draw, and I was like, what do you mean? And I look at the TV, it's a draw, and I'm like, so none of you won money, hey? And they're all like, no, we lost it all. I
No,
was like,
well, I
how the
actually
fuck,
did. I
man?
did make some money back. I
Oh
did make
yeah,
some
no,
money back.
you did. But Jesse lost it all.
Ligma was a good meme
Oh, the
this year.
Ligma, that was great. With both. My favorite was Have a nice
Yep,
day.
yep, yep.
Yeah,
I mean, there's been a lot of good memes this year. Honestly, I think
yeah.
memes have reached their peak.
I think I didn't think there were just that many because they've been
Despacito. Come on,
I
like
actually don't know the Despacito meme. I
it's.
keep hearing it.
Have you not heard the song Despacito? Like,
No.
how can you sit here and talk about memes if you don't even know about Despacito? What kind of madman are you?
I've heard like snippets of the song, but I haven't heard the whole song. Like sometimes I just hear a meme, like hear about a meme, and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to delve
Yeah.
into that one today.
Okay. E. E is a good meme.
Was
Just
a
the
good
letter
meme.
E.
Yeah.
That's the title of our podcast.
Yep.
E is for everything, everybody.
Fuck, the letter E messes with me. So the name of the podcast is E is for everything, as you can tell. It's
Yep.
because we're gonna touch throughout the
On
coming
literally
episodes is
everything.
just everything and anything that piques our interest.
What did you
Except
just think about just then? Yep, that's right. We're going to be talking about it
Yep.
at some point in the future.
we sure will. Were you just thinking about sport? No. Fuck you. Stop watching and leave.
Well, already
Real life
we've discussed boxing, which is a type
Oh.
of sport, so got you
Yeah,
there.
but
See,
no, that was YouTube boxing. It's not a sport.
it's not real.
That's
But
not a sport.
did you hear about this? Logan Paul is like seriously gonna go into the fucking UFC though.
Really?
Like that's
Oh.
something.
Oh no, I
Yeah.
did hear
Like,
that. I did hear that.
there have been a bunch of UFC fighters who are like, yeah, I'll take you on, boy. Like just recently, there was one big
That
guy.
that
I'm not
that'd be a
sure,
good
but
match. I'd watch that. Just Logan Paul getting
it,
hammered
it
on.
just. I mean, that's why I wanted to. That's why I was so excited for the KSI versus Logan Paul fight to begin with. I mean, I don't have anything against KSI. He seems like a really top-notch bloke, to be honest. There
Oh,
have been some.
I used to
There have
watch
been some
KSI, but some
There
of
have been
his
some
content
allegations
went
that came
downhill.
out this year. Oh, I guess you're right. I mean, he does a lot less gaming stuff, so I guess
Yeah.
I can see why. But I mean, there have been some allegations about like sexual harassment in the past
Yeah.
and whatnot. But honestly, that was a few years back, and it really wasn't that bad. It was
Yeah.
just some harmless jokes. But
Well,
like,
basically,
honestly, I watched the fight.
Yeah, yeah.
I watched the fight because I want to see Logan Paul get his face smashed in. Like, come on.
Yeah, basically, I was watching KSI for a little while, and then he started to get big, and he just started flexing, like just flexing on everyone. And it just like I don't know whether at the start it was a joke about flexing, but it just felt like really shitty. Like I don't like it when people flex. Like one, I'm poor and I don't like people being like, "Yo, I'm rich," and rubbing it in my face because don't be a dick about it. And the second thing is, I don't see the huge value to having a lot of money. Like they say money can't buy you happiness, but it sure can make life easier. But I see it and I'm like, there's just so many issues with money. I just
Listen,
don't hugely
E is
agree
for
with it.
everything, but money isn't everything.
No, it's not.
No, money is not for everything.
Yeah. Anyway,
There are
we will proceed to the game
Scum?
review. Yes,
Yes.
Scum. So I've played it for about 8 hours now. I chose a terrible server because I was like, oh, 30 players is probably a lot. It's not. Alright, 30 players is nothing. Because
especially with how big the map is, it's fucking crazy.
the map on it is fucking ridiculous. Absolutely huge. And so I was playing with 30 people on the server, or 32, and I've been playing for 8 hours and I haven't seen anyone. Not a single person. And there's a bug on this server where you don't get damaged by mechs. And so it sort of killed the fun of the game for me because I was sneaking around, being all stealthy, and then one shot me and I'm like, oh, I'm dead. And then I looked at my health and it's like, no damage. And I was like, I wonder if I punch it. So I walked up to it and I punched it and I just stood there while it's like rattling off machine gun at me and I'm like, sick. Absolutely sick. I love this game. But more into the mechanics of it, it's a very DayZ-like game.
Absolutely.
It just reminds me a lot of DayZ. Like even some parts of the map
Like
just remind
good
me
old school
of-
DayZ, like DayZ mod days, not the fucking standalone game
yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah.
DayZ mod days.
Scum is like if the DayZ standalone game was good.
Yep, totally.
Yeah. Like
And this is still in pre-alpha. Like what the fuck?
Yeah,
This is
I
like
think it's version
it's good quality.
version
0.01 or 0.1?
0.1787
Jesus.
or something.
Jesus.
Like it's brand new. It was released 30th of
Pre-alpha.
August. So ages ago. Like
Been out for 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
2
I thought
weeks.
it was 3, but 2 weeks. And so its graphics are quite amazing. So you may struggle playing it on a bit of a potato PC, but I haven't played around with the low settings. So like it looks amazing. I'm sure you could potato it down. You can potato most things down.
I mean, it's using the Unreal Engine,
Yeah,
right?
I'm pretty sure it's on Unreal.
I mean, it looks like PUBG. Honestly, it's using the Unreal Engine. It
I did-
looks exactly like PUBG.
I did have Alex come out and he was like, "Oh, what's Scum?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's like DayZ." And he's like, "Oh, it looks like PUBG." And I'm like, "It's not PUBG. PUBG shit." And
Yes, for the listeners, just to clarify, me and Nathaniel, we live in a share house together, and we
Yeah.
have 2 other roommates named Alex and Jesse.
Yep, and they are Fortnite fags.
Yeah,
Jesse-
listen,
Jesse's
E
too
might be
bad.
for everything, but E is not for Fortnite. We will not be discussing Fortnite on this podcast. I will make sure about it.
Yes, unless
Oh,
it's like a really good controversy where we can shit on them.
oh God,
I'd do
I
that.
hope
I'd do
there is.
that. um, so basically, the Scum is also very, very survival based. So you've got a
Hmm.
heart rate monitor, your oxygen levels, and so there's lots of different sicknesses that affect those things. So you got to keep an eye on them. Like general play, like gameplay, you won't have to keep an eye on them every second. Like it's not like you're a doctor and you're like, if I don't look at this, he'll die.
Hmm.
But you've got all your vitamins and your minerals that you have to have through your what you eat.
Hmm.
And so if you get deficient in one of them, like I've currently in my gameplay, I've got a vitamin D deficiency. Um, I correct me if I'm wrong, but vitamin D you get from the sun, right?
I believe so.
I wouldn't
My
know. I don't go
science
out. I don't go
knowledge
outside that often, so I probably have a vitamin D deficiency. It's probably
probably
just copying
got
my real life.
0.
Yeah, it's probably just copying my real life. Um, so I've got a vitamin D deficiency at the moment, and I have to take vitamin pills in game to get the deficiency like out of being deficient. And I was like, oh shit, all right, cool. You can end up with diarrhea, bloody diarrhea, vomiting, bloody vomiting. You can overeat. There's just a lot
Mm.
of like, in the personal caretaking of your body. There's a lot. Apparently, cleaning may
It's
be coming
very
soon.
detailed.
It is.
It's
It is a
extremely
very
detailed.
detailed,
It's really good.
very detailed survival mechanics.
Hmm.
The gunplay is okay. Um,
Mm.
it has been like I've played games with better gunplay, I've played games with worse gunplay, and I've played games with even more realistic gunplay like Squad.
Hmm.
That
Hmm.
game has very realistic gunplay to the point where I want to die. Um, and so it's really an awesome game. Though the one thing I think it's very much missing, but I can forgive because it's so early access and it's only just released, is the map is huge and
Yep.
there are no vehicles.
Yep. Oh,
So
so the mechs are only enemies because I've only seen a bit of the mechs, so you can't
so
ride the mechs
yeah. So you
yourself.
can't ride the mechs. They patrol
Mm.
certain areas, mostly the military stashes,
Mm.
such as the underground bunkers. There's like a few main places like the airport. That's a really good loot spot. Absolutely top-notch loot spot. I fuck shit up there. And you've also got to deal with the puppets. Um, and they're like zombies, but I believe that at the moment, if a player dies, like some naturally spawn in, but if a player dies, their body turns into a puppet unless you cut it up. That's
Hmm.
what I've read and watched so far, at least. So I may be wrong. Um, and I also read something about it on the Reddit page of Scum.
Hmm.
So the features in the current game are, multiplayer, and that is the main play of it. We've got a detailed weather system, realistic bullet physics. I haven't really played around with shooting yet because, as I said, I haven't run into anyone. So shotgun all the way. And the plan features are indeed, we have, tell me there are vehicles in here. We've got advanced AI.
See, like they already have the mechs, so I think it would make a lot of sense if you could like maybe like sneak up on the mechs or something and like
Yeah,
basically
or
be
like
able to ride them.
I think one thing missing from Scum at the moment is, as well, is loot off the mechs, because
Hmm.
like the main aim of the game at the moment is to kill players, puppets, and there's little orbs that appear sometimes. I'm not sure what they do, but I kill them too. Just kill the
Hmm.
everything, and you get fame points. And the fame points one will help you respawn at a better spot.
Hmm.
Um, so I believe 25 fame points is you just get a random respawn. 50
Hmm.
uh, fame points is you get a section of the map you can respawn. That one's really handy. And then there's another one that I don't remember. And 100 fame points is spawn on a teammate, which is really handy. Not
Hmm.
so much if you're like me and don't have friends.
Hmm.
Um, other
That's a
than that,
pretty good system. That's
yeah,
very
yeah,
unique, I
yeah.
think.
And so you go up in the ranks, and there's like a leaderboard on the like in game, and so you can see who's at number one. So you may end up with like people after you because you've got more fame points and they're trying to
Mm.
fuck you up. And it's a very unforgiving game. So like at the moment there are no place to bed and respawn at it. I
Mm.
don't believe there are major base building at the
I
moment.
honestly, I don't think it
And
should be like that. It should be
it
hardcore
shouldn't. It
survival. It just
shouldn't.
makes
It is
sense.
definitely a hardcore survival. Like I got
Mm.
I got really kitted out and I was really enjoying it, and then I realized that there were no people on the damn server, so I couldn't kill anyone, so
Yeah.
it wasn't very fun. I think
Yeah.
one person actually used the chat in game and was like, "Is anyone here?" And I was like, "I'm here," and he's like, "Anyone else?" And I was like, "I'm not good enough." Okay. Ooh. Got a little cut up. But Scum at the moment has been released, and current reviews are mixed. So
Mm.
slightly on the positive side. We've got two-thirds positive, and the other third not so much. Let's have a look at those not so positive reviews. Basically, people are complaining about bugs. I haven't encountered many, if any.
Well,
It's
the damage.
except for the
The
damage.
damage.
Yeah, but
Yep.
I'm thinking that could either be a server-based setting, like they didn't want the mechs to damage you, they wanted more player,
Hmm.
or it could just be a bug. A happy bug for me. I'm very happy with that one.
Hmm.
Um, there's also the frame rate, uh, so that's not great. People are basically complaining about the robots being too overpowered, but I think that's the point of them, is so that you can
To
just
avoid
walk
them.
around. Yeah,
Maybe
to
add a
avoid
bit
them.
of stealth mechanics
Yeah,
in there.
yeah.
Yep.
Like that's the thing that pissed me off when the robots couldn't do damage to me. I spent probably half an hour of that 8 hours
Yep.
doing
Yep.
just stealthing around, like crouching everywhere, trying to avoid everyone, just so I didn't get seen by them. Basically, if you're hit by a robot or a zombie, or puppet as they're called, you start bleeding immediately. I can understand that. You be shot, you're gonna bleed. The hitting by a zombie,
Yep.
maybe they need to change that because being punched or like scratched, you're not gonna bleed profusely, not majorly. Um,
Hmm.
bigger backpacks. I will admit the carrying of stuff is
The
very
inventory looks pretty detailed and
okay. So
like
the
I don't
inventory.
know.
So my main complaint about the game indeed is the inventory. Like it's a
Hmm.
great inventory system. It's realistic, so you can't put your Dragonov in your backpack or like in your
Hmm.
pants, um, and that's fine. I like that. But my complaint there is that if I have, say, two Dragonovs and I want to store one, when you make a crate, you can't pick it up. Like I can
Hmm.
understand not being able to put it in your bag and carry it with you, but you can't bring it into your hands and walk around with it and place it down somewhere, which is really annoying. So you have to
That's a
bring,
bit weird.
yeah,
Yeah.
you got to bring all the building materials to the where you want the crate and then craft the crate and it'll just drop in that spot.
Hmm.
The other thing is that if you have like all your inventory filled up and there's like four sections where you're going to put a gun, um, so like they do it in grid format. So a pistol maybe 4x4, um, or 2x2, sorry. And so you have to have you can have four empty slots, but if they're not in that 2x2 pattern, the pistol, instead of like rearranging the inventory for you, it'll just drop on the ground, won't tell you you've lost your pistol because by the time you
Hmm.
realize you've run away from it and you're not finding it.
Hmm.
I've lost
I
several
mean, the
pistols, so
inventory, the inventory system, really, it reminds me a lot of Resident Evil. Honestly, uh,
yes, it does. It definitely
I
does.
think it's really good. It is a bit weird. Like maybe there should be like an auto toggle, kind of like
Yeah,
organized,
yeah.
maybe. But I mean, that's not very realistic when you think about it. And I think this
Mm.
survival horror game's
I
trying
think
to be a bit more realistic.
I think it's more so that I would have everything stacked up so that I could put my gun back all the time. But then I'd see something on the ground. I'm like, oh, I'll pick that up, and I pick it up using the auto pickup, and it just puts it into the first slot available,
Hmm.
which sometimes was my pistol spot.
Hmm.
So you
Yep.
gotta
Yep.
you gotta try and put your pistol right at the like last spots available. If you don't want that to happen. So I just feel like being able to reserve a spot would be great. Or
Hmm.
reserve a few spots so items can't go there except for a set item. would be really good. Other people are just
I mean, honestly, like
complaining about
the
no people.
reviews.
Um,
Yeah, I mean that's probably the biggest
which
issue
is,
you're facing right now as well.
well, see, I think that's more so that there, for some reason, are a lot of servers at the moment.
Oh,
A
that's weird.
lot of servers, and so each server has, you know, like the ones that I've seen have like, you know, 20, 30 people. There's a
Hmm.
lot with zero, and I was like, oh yeah, 30 is what? And then I messaged my mate right before we started, and he said, yeah, no, there are 200 people on my server. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm joining that one. And the robots that do damage on that one too. So I will have to use my stealth abilities. Other than that, people are enjoying the game. They're liking the survival stuff. They
Hmm.
are most people are rating it about a 6 or a 6.5. I'm not going to give it a number rating. Um,
It's pre-alpha. It's too
yeah,
early
yeah,
to
exactly,
to say
exactly.
anything, honestly. I
So
think it has a lot of potential. I think it's gonna hopefully get out of that
yeah,
alpha
I think
hell that a lot of Steam
yeah,
games get
yeah,
into.
definitely. I think
It's
my
gonna
only
dis
fear at the moment is that it stays in alpha hell, or worse,
Yeah.
the devs say, "Hey, look, we just made a lot of money. Let's say fuck it and run off with it."
Yeah, which is
That
pretty much what happened with Daisy standalone,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah. DayZ Standalone, Reign of Kings.
Yep.
Uh, what other games did it? There was another one that was like all over the news a while back that did it.
Mm,
Um,
I'm not sure.
I don't remember, but you know, a few games have done that, and so you know, it's sort of put this, you know, fear that I feel like I don't deserve to have,
Hmm.
in my heart, like that I'm like, oh shit, you know, I'm gonna get fucked by the developer, like
Hmm.
these other developers did to me. Like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I bought Reign of Kings,
Oh,
because
PUBG. Maybe you're thinking PUBG. PUBG kind of fucked over a lot of people,
yeah, that
honestly.
wasn't so much the developers ditch though. That was more so because PUBG said, "Oh, we're not going to
Yeah,
introduce loot
Fortnite.
crates,"
Yeah,
and then they
yeah.
introduced loot
And
crates.
then they did, and it's already a
Yeah,
paid game, and then they're
yeah,
adding in
exactly.
a monetary option,
Like
which is bullshit.
I was talking about this with another friend of mine, or another housemate, Alex. I was telling him how, you know, I agree with games having microtransactions to a point that does
Yeah,
not
I think
affect.
Overwatch does it okay.
Yeah,
Overwatch is
if it,
probably the best
if it
example.
doesn't affect the game,
Hmm.
maybe. But
Hmm.
that maybe is on the case of, does the game cost? If yes, has the game been out for, let's say, I'd say if the game's been out for 2 years and the player base is starting to, you know, die off, I would introduce
Hmm.
loot boxes to, you know, keep a bit of revenue from the game, so that, you know, that game doesn't have an early financial death.
Hmm.
Um, Especially if it's a multiplayer game and you're running servers, you know, you've got to keep up the cost of the servers.
Hmm.
Um, Other than that, I don't think there's many reasons to put in microtransactions. Like if it's a paid game, it's in the prime of its life. Why would you add microtransactions or loot boxes,
Yep.
especially loot boxes? I don't like loot boxes because it's essentially
You don't know
gambling.
what you're gonna get.
It's essentially gambling. And again, there were laws around it. I believe in the EU. Um,
Oh yeah, there's like
yeah,
some state senator in America
yeah,
doing stuff. It's very big. Like there have been countries like I think Belgium has been the number
yes,
one that
yes,
has completely banned it. And
yeah.
EA is like, oh no, please don't take away our loot boxes. We really want the money. You don't have to buy
Yeah.
it, but come on, it's an option, it's a choice.
Yeah, but
But I
see,
mean, EA
one,
doesn't get to say anything. They made
yeah,
Battlefront
yeah.
2, which is obviously started all of this.
Yeah. I remember this was amazing. One of the quotes they said, they're like, "Oh, well, we don't really want people running around with pink Darth Vader. They wouldn't like that because it's
Oh
not
my god.
realistic." And then it's
And
like,
then
and then
somebody proceeded to make a mod that had pink Darth Vader
well,
armor.
the news writer said, "Actually, I'd love to play a pink Darth Vader.
Who,
Also,
who wouldn't? Who
yeah, oh
wouldn't?
yeah,
It'd
also,
be
and
fucking
and
amazing.
he said just to fuck with them even more. He said to them, he's like, you know, having, say, you know, Darth Vader versus himself
Mm-hmm.
doesn't really work.
Hmm.
And so, you
But
know,
see, this is within a game that's
was
already
stupid.
canonically breaking. I mean, I'm a
Exactly.
big Star Wars nerd, so
Yeah.
like Battlefront 2 is not accurate to the
And they
Star Wars
they
canon.
tried to say that it was semi-canon,
Yeah,
and it
but
was
it's like they have
absolutely
fucking
stupid.
Yoda
Like,
teaming
no.
up with fucking Ray and
Like,
all
no,
this
no, my
bullcrap.
child, it is not canon.
Yep. So I think if you go campy, like over the top ridiculousness Star Wars, I think it works well.
Yeah.
Because that's the problem. I mean, you need a good blend. Because I think Last Jedi recently was a bit too on the comedic side, but like
Yeah.
for a video game at the very least, I mean,
Have you seen?
just go all out.
Yeah. Have you seen that? It was one of those new Star Wars like mini movie sort of things.
You
What
mean
was
you?
it? It
Are you
was
talking about Solo?
yeah, Solo. Did you watch it?
No, and I'm not going
'Cause
to.
I just hear bad things about it.
Exactly.
I
Well,
haven't heard
I knew
anything
it
good
was
about
going to be
and I'm
bad.
like, oh dear.
I personally don't think Rogue One was all that good. That was the first standalone movie they did. It
I think
wasn't that good. Some people like it, but I don't
I think
really
it
care.
was all right. Like it wasn't the
Yeah.
best, but
It wasn't the high quality a Star Wars film should be.
Exactly.
And honestly,
Exactly.
that's kind of a weird thing to say because what is the high quality for a Star Wars movie? They honestly had 2 good movies and then the rest were either adequate or complete trash. So
Yeah, I think there's a lot of hype around it that has sort of built from those few good movies and
Yeah.
the merchandising. And it's like no one
Yeah.
wants the hype to die because then the merchandise isn't worth as much and you know people have
Yeah.
invested a lot of money into Star Wars merchandise. And I think
Yeah.
that's one of the things that keeps it going. But
Yeah.
on that note, we shall end the podcast today, and hopefully you'll see us next week. Hopefully I will be getting in Tabitha.
But Mr.
And
Yellow, they can't
possibly
see us.
Andrew.
This is an auditory podcast. They listen to us.
Oh, I can just bring in people and say they're Tabby and Andrew. Ooh, I'm gonna go pay hookers.
Oh snap.